Senator Angus King, who serves on the Armed Services and Intelligence Committees, and joins me now. And Senator, what do you think of the Biden administration's threat to ban TikTok in the U.S. if the Chinese owners refuse to sell their stakes in the app?
Well, Andrea, you asked the reporter why they took this position at the White House. The short answer is they must have read my bill. Marco Rubio and I introduced a bill a month ago that outlined exactly the process that they're suggesting, which is if you don't divest and lodge ownership of this operation, of this company outside of China, then it will be banned. That's exactly what Marco and I suggested. And the reason is there are two national security reasons. One is that China actually has a law that any private company that's requested by the Chinese Communist government to give up their data has to do so. So in effect, it makes any private company an agent of the Chinese Communist Party. And TikTok has enormous amounts of data, what you're doing with your phone, what you're looking at, what you're emphasizing, where you are. So that's a problem. The second problem is the power that this has to subtly or not so subtly influence people by what's chosen, by what you look at, by what comes on your feed, to influence people in the direction the Chinese want. We got very upset a couple of months ago about the balloon. This is 62 million Americans have this thing in their pocket, and so it is a serious risk. We don't want to ban it, but we do want to get the ownership into people or companies that aren't beholden to the Chinese Communist Party. It's pretty straightforward.
What the company said today in that statement that Christian got was that divestment would not change that. It wouldn't change the access.
I don't know exactly what they mean or what they're thinking about divestment, but to me, if the ownership is in the United States or in Canada or in Europe, and it's no longer has any control or interest of the Chinese government. By the way, the Chinese government itself has a share of ByteDance, which is the owner of TikTok, and I think a couple of seats on the board. So clearly, that's what we're trying to get after.
And that's exactly what came up at on the House side at the worldwide threat hearing. I know you were sitting on the Senate side, and it also came up there. But this is what General Paul Nakasone had to say, the head of the NSA.
Certainly, one third of Americans get their news from TikTok every single day. 1/6 of American youth say they're constantly on TikTok. That's a loaded gun, Congressman.
Senator, do you agree? A loaded gun?
Absolutely. General Nakasone is absolutely right on, and he's the most knowledgeable person in the United States government about threats. He's in charge of Cybercom and the National Security Agency, so he knows, and he's absolutely right. And I think it's a good step that the White House has stepped in and essentially endorsed this idea, because it really is a very significant national security risk.
Now, Senator, I know you've been busy in armed services all morning, and the way you senators have to work on all kinds of things at once, but something happened in Senate Finance while you were in armed services with Janet Yellen and Senator Cassidy on the subject of Social Security. You've been working with Senators Cassidy and others on trying to come up with some bipartisan agreement on Social Security. Well, Senator Cassidy just went at her for the way he feels the president's budget ignores any fix to Social Security. Let me play that for you.
Of the $4.5 trillion in taxes he has proposed, not a dime is going to shore up Social Security. Does the president know personally anybody who is dependent upon Social Security, and if their benefits are cut by 24%, they will slide into poverty? It's hard for you to know, so I'll give you a pass on that.
The president knows many people on Social Security.
Then why doesn't the president care?
He cares very deeply.
Then where is his plan?
He stands ready to work with Congress.
That's a lie, because when a bipartisan group of senators has repeatedly requested to meet with him about social, so that somebody who is a current beneficiary will not see her benefits cut by 24%, we have not heard anything on our request.
Senator, where do you stand on this? Social Security is once again becoming the third rail of American politics going into 24.
Well, what Senator Cassidy's referring to, that is in 9 years, Social Security goes insolvent. And by current law, this isn't anything anybody will actually have to take action on. By current law, when that happens, automatically benefits will be cut by around 24%, as he said. That's the risk. It's 9 years away. There is a group of us that have been working on this. I'm a little more sanguine about a meeting with the president than Bill Cassidy. But I think this is something that we have to attend to, and we may not be able to solve all the problem right now, but I think there are steps that we can take that don't involve cutting benefits, don't involve increasing the retirement age, don't involve increasing taxes, but there are steps that we can take now to begin the process, and that's what I'm hoping we're going to be able to discuss with the president.
To be continued. Senator, thank you very much.
Thank you,
on all
Andrew.
subjects. We appreciate it.